Welcome to Essential Think. This video will give you 4 essential steps to help you get rid of toxic friends, avoid emotional abuse, and of course, move on with your life. So let's jump right in. Friends are people you know well, who you're close with, and who are compatible with you most of the time. They should represent a positive force in your life, but this isn't always the case. Time goes by and people change, so friends change too, and sometimes they become an obstacle to your health and happiness. I know some of your friends might have always been negative and mean to you, but you somehow still got tied up with them. It happens, and that's why we're here. This sort of friend is the one sort of friend you do not need in your life, and sooner you figure that out, the better. So let's imagine you have identified that one dismissive and negative friend who you've known for so long and share so much history with. One difficult question appears: how do you get rid of toxic friends? Kicking friends out of your life is not an easy thing to do. You have considered them your friends, so they probably still have a meaningful role in your life. You might even hold them in higher regard than they deserve on account of your attachment to them and the fact that you have a history together. We all know that it's important to remove unhealthy, toxic things from our lives, such as fast food, alcohol, or tobacco. So why would removing toxic friends be any different? Just like any toxic thing, bad food or drugs, toxic people are also extremely damaging to us. They prevent us from being positive or productive. They will be the ones who demoralize us or make fun of us for wanting to be better or to improve. They will invent ways to keep you in a negative atmosphere. Toxic people dwell in the past and have a negative mindset, convincing you that you can't succeed or that you can't be happy. They are incapable of being happy for you or enjoying your success. However, it's very important to distinguish friends who are really mean and toxic from the people who might be suffering from depression or some other mental state, which might increase their negative point of view. If you have friends who you know are truly suffering from depression, you should in fact support them and not isolate them from your life. On the other hand, dealing with people who are intentionally toxic and constantly trying to manipulate you might affect your own psychological well-being, so stay vigilant. Still, even if you have all of this sorted out and you can clearly see which one of your friends is toxic, it can be really hard to remove them from your life. Toxic people can sometimes hold on to you for years by challenging your conscience, making you feel guilty, or playing some other emotionally manipulative game. Breaking up with your love partner is hard, but ending a friendship can be even more challenging because you probably share history, memories, same friends, or even family members. All of this sometimes makes it seem that it's easier to stick with the toxic friendship, to put up with the occasional problems, manipulation, and drama. We are human, and we will often tolerate a lot of bad things simply to avoid a bigger conflict or the possibility of a private conflict spilling into the public. Toxic friends might use your private experiences against you. However, what needs to be done needs to be done. It is as simple as that. You cannot stay in a relationship that's detrimental and bad for you, and that'll ultimately make you a puppet for someone else's selfish interests. With that being said, let's move on to 4 tips for breaking free, removing toxic friends from your life, and focusing on yourself. Tip number 1. Identify the toxic friendship. Admit to yourself what your friendship looks like. Be honest with yourself and recognize the fact that your friendship with a toxic person is harming you. If your friendship is weighing down on you, you're feeling manipulated or having to prove yourself all the time, it's time to move on. Toxic people are preventing you from fully living your life. So stop justifying your friend's toxic behavior because that is something you cannot change. But what you can change is your own behavior. Friendship is a two-way street, and friendship is a choice, which means that you are in no way required to spend time with someone who is bad for you. Think about what you're getting from this so-called friendship. It is probably draining your positive energy, and you're no longer having any fun. If this is the case, and you're often in a bad mood after spending time with your friend, then you need to recognize that you have a problem, and that problem needs to be fixed. Tip number 2. Be direct. It's important that you make a clear case and be as direct as possible. If necessary, practice what you want to say and keep your message clear in your head. You want to get your message across because toxic friends can be persistent and try to cling on to your relationship, dismissing your decision as something that is not serious. Remember, they are controlling and selfish, so it's imperative you really let them know that it's time to part ways. Now, you don't have to be harsh or insulting. You don't want to turn this into a verbal or even physical conflict. Just try to be direct, tell them how you feel about everything, and state that your decision is firm and final. You should explain why you're doing this, but remember, you need your statement to have power, because a toxic person will not simply go away, but might actually try even harder to stop the separation. Don't let this discourage you. To you, it doesn't matter if your toxic friend believes you or not. Your goal here is to eliminate negative people from your life, and that should be the only outcome of your conversation. Tip number 3. Set boundaries. Make sure you know exactly what sort of boundaries or protective measures you want to have in place after you break the news to your toxic friend. These will be your personal rules you need to stick to. If you decide to end all contact, then that is exactly what you need to do. Block their number and delete them on social media. Do not respond to any communication attempts, be it an email, a letter, or any kind of message. Remember that you are responsible for sticking to your own rules and keeping your message clear. Your well-being depends on it, so don't second-guess yourself and don't apologize to anyone. You may tell other people that you have broken off your connection to your toxic friend, just so your circle of friends is aware of that fact. You might want to avoid the toxic person for some time, so it's best that your friends know what's up and don't invite you to the same events. Tip number 4. Focus on yourself. You need to understand that your health and well-being are worth far more than toxic people. Surround yourself with positive people. After removing yourself from a toxic friendship, you will need positivity and good people around you, just to provide some support and remind you that not all relationships are draining and toxic. Healthy, optimistic people will help you cope with your feelings and revive your spirit. Reach out to your friends and family members. Make sure you meet up and spend time together. Keep yourself busy and prevent yourself from thinking about your toxic friend too much. Feeling upset or emotionally hurt is completely natural. You will probably need some time to process everything and get over it. Keep in mind that in order to live a fulfilling and happy life, you need to remove toxic people from it. You know your friendship was emotionally abusive, so trust your logic and trust your intuition. Give yourself some time to heal, but never forget that you did this for yourself and your life can only benefit from your decision. And before we conclude, here is one more bonus tip for anyone who finds directly talking to toxic people too difficult or overwhelming. Another way of ending a relationship is by fading out. If you don't feel like going through the whole breakup conversation, or you don't feel safe talking to your toxic friend, you can try to slowly make yourself less and less visible until your friend either gets the message that they are not wanted in your life anymore, or until they simply lose interest in keeping a relationship with you. Let your toxic friendship fade out and methodically decrease your communication. Spend less and less time together until you block them out completely. Now, you need to understand that such behavior on your part might raise some questions and lead your toxic friend to seek out answers from you, but you can always find a way to get your message across. This method of slowly fading out is acceptable when your stability or safety is in question, but in some cases you will still need to make your intentions clear. You can do it by writing an email or a text explaining your decision. Follow the same rules as you would in a direct conversation. Be honest and respectful, but stick to your decision and don't look back. Alright, that's all in this week's video. I truly hope you found value in it, and if that's the case, please take a moment to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell if you want to check out the next video that comes out. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and see you next time.